Okay, there it goes.
Warm welcome me for my life.
Yes. Sister Saif Osmani from Cockney Cultures. Thank you for coming in. EastEnders theme tune there. You're a real life EastEnder. The reason I wanted to talk to you, you're trying to get Cockney to be recognised as an official language. Why is that?
That's right. Cockney Cultures popped up 2 years ago after an online conversation that Cockney was dying or was under threat. We didn't believe that because we're right in the middle of the East End. We're living there with our families and friends and everyone. And we said, well, hang on a minute, what's happened to Cockney? And Cockney's, in fact, changed. It's adapted to the waves of people who've come and gone over the years. And also there's a strong link to Tower Hamlets in particular. And so we're really happy that recently Tower Hamlets has recognised Cockney as both a cultural heritage and also in language form as well. So hopefully there'll be more public provisions to recognise and celebrate everything about what's Cockney and what unites us.
So rhyming slang, this was formed in the 19th century, and they say it was like crooks, people nicking stuff on the docks, using a language that coppers couldn't understand, apples and pears and, and all that stuff. That's the derivation of it, isn't it? That's how it started. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great story.
Well, that's an element of it. I think Cockney language, if you look at it historically, it's got a 660-year history, if not longer.
Yeah, so there's been saying 19th century, so I'm way out there, aren't I?
Well, that's when it was. Sometimes cultures consolidate themselves. So at particular times, like the 19th century, there would have been a particular reimagining of this culture as well. But it's actually earlier than that. That's a written statement, such as the Canterbury Tales mentions Cockney. We've also got, if we fast forward now, you've got a lot of Cockneys who might be living in Essex, for example, but have strong ties to the East End of London. And that language itself is really important because it is a language, whether you call it a dialect or a slang or argot or whatever it might be, it is a different way of talking. And we just think that that's something to celebrate. In London, we go around saying that we're a global city, that we love culture, and culture brings us so much revenue. But we should also recognise the cultures which are embedded and native to the country.
So this is a quote from you. Multicultural London English is a particular thing, but it's not Cockney. It's a very different thing. And you go on to say, because you can be Cockney Black, Cockney Bengali, Cockney whatever. That's the point. You yourself are representative of what you might call, 21st century East End.
Absolutely. The East End's always been an inclusive place, and Cockney, by its very nature, was always inclusive of other ethnic words. For example, if you look at Ruby Murray, curry, China plate, mate.
That's right.
So
it's a chick Murray in Scotland.
Is it a chick Murray?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. He's from Scotland.
Glasgow has its own rhyming slang.
So Ali's the film critic, TV critic for The Sun. I used to be the TV critic for the Sunday Mirror. So as he was just saying, and that's why I put EastEnders on, bane of our lives, having to watch that and write about it. Not very representative of what life is really like in London's East End, is it?
It's really different. One of the art pieces that we did recently, we co-produced it, was a pearly burqa. So we put the pearls on the burqa with a big thumbs up.
Did you? That's a great idea. How did that go down?
Mixed responsibility.
Funny.
Generally well. I think people saw it in its humour and in its favour.
Yeah.
But that's what Cockney is. There's an irreverent stoic wit,
yes.
which is part
That's
and
it,
parcel.
isn't it?
Yeah.
There's still a thing. If you're in the West End, if you're down the East End, down the Whitechapel Road and those markets, Petticoat Lane and all that, and you get there like early in the morning, they're all shouting at each other. There is something kind of special about the East End, and it is that sort of chirpy humour and the sort of fast-paced conversation and the way they there's something unique.
Well, that's where it originally comes from. The street markets are really vital. If you look at the East End markets, Brick Lane markets, Galater Street, Cheshire Street, the costermonger character came from there, and he'd originally put on the pearly buttons on himself to look flash. So the word flash comes from things like going to the market and someone being a bit flash with their buttons.
Right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
So we associate that with what we're wearing. Yeah,
it's a very different accent from South London as well.
Oh yeah. And West London.
Someone from South London can spot someone from East London, which it blows my mind. That when I first came down, I just said, they just all sound the same. But
you get out to West London, where I was brought up, there's a different accent there as well. That's a terrible accent. I mean, because the East End has, I like it, it's clipped and it's fast. In West London, I talk like that, really slurred and South London, I'm not sure, but
it's a bit more sort of Michael Caine, isn't it?
That's right. It's because he's from Streatham, wasn't
They've got a guy who does the voiceovers for the Underground. So there is a good service today on the District Line. Oh, right, so Michael, you're moonlighting.
Yeah. So you got, coming up, Saif, you got the Modern Cockney Festival. That runs from the 3rd of March, so that's already started till the 4th of April. Any events people can go and see there, or how can they look that up?
Absolutely. And the Modern Cockney Festival's running 3rd of the 3rd to the 4th of the 4th, and we've got events next week as well, which include a series of in-person and online talks, all tied around Cockney. So we've got We Ain't Victims, we've got East End Struggles, and a few other more knees ups, including a curry down Brick Lane.
Good old-fashioned knees up. Were you born within the sound of Bow Bells?
I was born in Whitechapel, brought up around Brick Lane. Yeah. So the markets and all of that is very much there.
Yeah, so Trisha Goddard was saying earlier that she's an official Cockney. She was born in the sound of Bow Bells as well.
I've lived there 26 years. Do I count, or am I?
No, you don't count.
Okay.
You're not a Cockney.
I'm a Jockney.
You're a
Jockney.
Poshny or Mockney, as they call it.
Yeah, I've probably pushed out all the locals. I'm the source of a lot of problems.
Well, listen, Saif, I think you did great work, and I hope that you succeed in your mission to get Cockney made an official language, and certainly keep up the Cockney culture because it's important, and that's real London as opposed to Albert Square. So, Saif Osmani from the Cockney Cultures Organisation, thank you very much for coming in.